Hi, and welcome to Spiritual Shenanigans. My name is Jose Lindsay, and here at Spiritual Shenanigans, it's where spirituality meets the shenanigans of life. So, what if I told you that you had the power to change the world? I know what you're thinking. You're thinking that you're one person. What could I possibly do here? I live in X city. There's huge problems in the world, and I'm powerless where I am to change anything really. And I'm here to tell you that we've just been told the wrong things, how we're powerless and victims and there's nothing that we can do in the world is actually wrong. And I'm going to try and prove that to you in this video where I'm going to explain about kindness and compassion. And I'm going to explain how to get it yourself, build it within yourself, and also how to shine it on other people. So if you're just joining us now, this is the last video of a series. So before we get to this video where you're shining your light on other people, it's important to mention that it's much easier to shine your light on other people once you have actually ignited your own light. So a lot of us will always say, be kind to others. We're all one and all of that. But if you haven't worked on yourself and you're coming up from a negative standpoint, it's very difficult to take care of each other. Before you can spread your kindness and compassion, you got to work on yourself. If you can picture just tiers of cups, your cup at the top, you got to fill your cup first before the second tier of, let's say it's your family and friends, and then community, work, and the world. The cup at the top is yours that you have to fill. How you do that is working on yourself. And I'm just going to put it on what we covered in the series. So a good place to start is self-acceptance. If you don't love yourself, you can't love others. Then we talked about a positive mindset. If you keep your thoughts as an optimistic mindset, it's much easier to be able to be helpful to others. We talked about dreaming big and law of attraction and how you're an energetic being and your thoughts and your words matter. And we're going to touch on that again today because what you think and say to others also matters. We talked about being present and mindful. That helps you a lot in being kind when you're grateful and appreciative of the things around you. And the last video, we talked about having an attitude of gratitude, where I talked about that's the magic attitude, and that also keeps you in a state of positivity, joyfulness, and again, much easier to shine your light on others. So today, what we're going to talk about is once that's ignited. So if you having a hard time being kind, go look at those ones, and that'll really help you. Like I said, if your light's not lit, there's not much to give. So start there and then come back to this video and I'll show you how we can shine your light, how you can make a difference right where you are starting today, no matter how old you are, if you're an adult, if you're a teenager, whatever job that you have, wherever you work, it doesn't matter. So let's just start with kindness and compassion. It seems to be something that, you have to do. What I think about kindness and compassion is it's how we're born. I believe love, compassion, kindness is the state that you're born into and that you are taught out of it over time. So why compassion and kindness feel good is because I think that's our true essence. If we think back of when we were babies, and I'm actually going to put a picture so that you can imagine this with me. So I have a picture here of babies, but if you can picture them sort of like crawling around and hanging out, and they're just in diapers, they're very young. Those babies don't see colors, cultures. They're not going to start judging each other. They don't care. They're not going to start looking at, what diaper you have on and judge you, or start to judge you based on who you love or the religion that you have. And there's no hate there. And if you were to let those babies just grow up, all different colors, all different religions, it wouldn't matter. But you never taught them to hate another. You never taught them why those people are different and above you or below you. You never taught them that they don't make money So they're a lower class than a CEO over here. And all of those things that we have in our mental minds of separation, it's mind-made, it's man-made that you are taught that. It's all fabricated. If you let those babies in their natural state grow up together, never knowing and teaching them those things about separation, they would build a community together, they would be brothers and sisters, they would love each other, and there would be acceptance and kindness and compassion, and they would treat each other equally. So the world that we look at now has been taught that way. And to further illustrate, here's a quote that I like from Nelson Mandela. I'm going to read it here as you see it. And this is what he says. No one is born hating another person because of the color of his skin or his background or his religion. People learn to hate. And if they can learn to hate, they can be taught to love. For love comes more naturally to the human heart than its opposite. And this is where my theory comes in. Why, when you see an act of kindness, when you see those things now, even on social media of people helping each other, it's like it warms your heart, you're crying. It feels so good because this is our true essence. That's what I fundamentally believe. There's a saying that says something like, the longest journey you will ever take is the journey from your head to your heart. And this is true. And it's a long journey because everything in society is always from an intellectual standpoint. Intelligence, everything from the mind, and we've been obsessing over the mind and intelligence for a very, very long time, but ignoring the very powerful nature of the heart. I'll go into it a little bit later, but the heart is far more than just a pump, that when we are looking at the anatomy, that it pumps blood in the body. It's actually a very, very powerful energetic center in the body, and it's actually many times more powerful in the brain, and it's electromagnetic, and it's extremely powerful. And I'll go through that in a little bit. But the journey is from a judgmental mind, and here is where you're going to find acceptance is in your heart. Separation is fabricated. It's stuff that has to be taught. Things that you're taught over and over about certain people and the color of their skin, the separation, us versus them. It's a learned concept. Acceptance comes from the heart. Unity, we are all one, that is from a concept that you feel from the heart. Another big one from the mind is judgment. It's almost like it's programmed when you see somebody. We all do it. You're like assessing. Boop, 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 boop. You're assessing how much they're making, what they're wearing, what they might be doing, what car they're driving, and then you're making more assessments, judgments of them. One of the things we ask at parties, and I never understood this because I don't care, is, what do you do? Well, you ask what you do so then you can judge that person and sort of like sort them out. Are they higher and lower than me? So that's very much ego-driven. So judgment is very much man-made. Again, goes with the thoughts that you're thinking and the beliefs that you have that were taught. And conditional love. Conditional love is almost like you think it's love coming from here, but conditional love is if you do these things, you will be loved. If in your culture you do these things, your family will love you. If you do these things, church will love you, meaning if you don't do these things, we don't love you, you're cast aside. So anytime there's conditions on love, that's more, again, the love is tied in with these concepts that are taught. The heart is unconditional love. That's where you want to move to. It's a love that's not conditional on an education that you have, what you do, if you're gay, if you're straight, or whatever. You're loved no matter what, just for existing. That's an unconditional love. And often, depending on the religion that you're in, I was in a religion, I was in a Catholic religion, where love was very conditional. So the conditions can come from your family, it can come from society, but it can also come from religion, where there is a box, you must be in the box, and you're a sinner, evil, and all of these things where you must fit in the box to be loved by God, religion, your church, and all of that. Unconditional love is completely different. You're just love for being who you are. And not to go into religion, but religion has a lot of these man-made concepts that have limited beliefs. Spirituality is more without the rules, the universe, the field, whatever you believe, is your love just for existing, right? There's also things in the self-development spirituality community that says you're either based out of fear or love, and you always want to move towards more love, but fear is a mental concept. Fear is a lot of what controls society. To fear another race, to fear what a gay person or transgender person might do, and they instill fear, and you can see it in the media, and it's all made up. It's not true whatsoever. Love is another energy, and you can always sense in the news or when somebody's telling you something, if it's fear-based or made on some kind of belief, or if it's actually the truth. The truth will come from love. Made up things, lies, is from fear and from the mind, from the brain. And it's the mind that will create this dangerous us versus them. So like I talked about, you can do religion, race, you can do it separated by IQ. I went to this school, Ivy League. In certain countries, it's the caste system that you're born into or not, us versus them. We're awesome, they're different than us, they're not. And whether it's based on religion or not, we will even go to the lengths of killing people that aren't us. Insert whatever you want in there in history, and we're doing it to this day. There's a disagreement, we're not the same, they must die. And we still have that today in 2025. So this is why it's so important today to ask yourself, is that the truth? Well, if you ask yourself, is that the truth about another culture, another religion, it can go against everything you've ever been taught. Because if you say, is it true? You're like, yes, it matches everything I've been taught and all the textbooks and everything my church said and everything that my family said and everything that I've heard my whole life. But if you ask yourself if it's true here, if you go into oneness and that we're all one, it often doesn't align. So that's something that this will lie to you based on everything you've been taught. But the heart, if you tap into that, it'll tell you the truth. The heart will tell you when you tap into there that it's our differences that makes us amazing. It's our differences that makes us interesting. You just want to understand other religions, other people, and especially in the US, and sometimes I'm in Canada, but we have it a little bit in Canada as well. Like, you can disown your family because of a political preference, right? And that's what you think of that political party, what they stand for, and you believe in it so much that you are willing to disown family members or not talk to them. Now, that's not to say you can believe in whatever. It doesn't matter. What matters is you can tell me that you support this political party. You're from this religion. You believe in A, B, C. And I can just listen to that and say, oh, that's interesting. Okay, I believe in this, 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 and this political party. In my religion, we believe these things. And be okay with it. Where we go a little bit crazy is that these days, if somebody doesn't agree with you or shares different beliefs, you go right into slamming them, hating them, disowning them, having to eliminate them, insulting them. There's something where we've lost where it's okay to be different and you just listen to them and you just explain where you come from. They explain where they come from and you leave it at that. You can let them have their life. You have your life and you don't have to argue about it. Like, you believe in that, I believe in that, and that's okay. There's an acceptance and understanding that's from the heart. It's the mind where I have to convince them you're wrong. I have to annihilate them. You go back into the heart and understanding, and you let people be who they are. You don't even have to understand. You're like, okay, that's an interesting view, but you do you, you know? It's very much like I've explained before, we think we want peace, and when I think of peace, it's like you're thinking of if just like everybody's just getting along, or maybe even everybody just thinks the same thing, and we now have just one religion, one way of thinking, and now we have peace. But I think of it more as harmony. Harmony can be loud. Harmony, if you think of an orchestra with many different types of instruments and a whole bunch of violins in the violin section and clarinets and flutes and all of that, and a drum section, and they all come together with many, many, many different sounds, making one piece of music that's really beautiful and really powerful. They're not all playing the exact thing. They're not all on the same frequency, but you have harmony. So I think that's what is good to strive for, is harmony. It's okay to all be different, all think of other things, but you still respect each other. You can respect somebody, or at least be neutral about something. And this is, I think, an art that we've lost. You don't even have to go out of your way and love them and be joyful about it, but you could be certainly neutral about it and let them do their thing. Something that comes to mind is a quote from Gandhi. This one is a much more famous quote. It says, "Be the change you want to see in the world." So right now, when we look at the world, we see there's war and a lot of hate, a lot of judgment. It's just a negative place. But we tend to look at the world and say, like, oh my gosh, it's so messed up. But without knowing it, we then go in our cars. We're very self-involved trying to get to your job. You might cut some people off. You're ignoring people. You have blinders on. You're passing people. Or when you're walking on the street and you just have lots of things on your mind and you're not acknowledging people and you're just doing your thing, trying to get through your day. But if we get back to the point of be the change you want to see in the world, so what is it that you want in the world? Well, I want more harmony. I want more peace. I want more joy. I want more love. I want people to get along. Well, then you have to be that in your life. And this is where we're starting to talk about where you can do that today. If you can put out the energy one by one, all of us, millions of us, billions of us, of the energy you want to see globally, one by one by one by one, that's where we start to see the difference. For example, you want to see more kindness, you want to see more compassion, you offer that, number one, to yourself. You love yourself, you be compassionate to yourself. That's number one. Number two, the people in your house, whether it's a roommate, your kids, your partner, how are you treating them? Don't say, hey, look at over there, what's going on globally, when you're treating possibly people in your own house like garbage, and then they're going out to treat people like garbage because they're learning from you. It's up to us to take all of the responsibility ourselves to be, am I being kind, right? Start there. That's where you start today. Am I being kind? Be kind to yourself. Be kind to the people in your house. Start right there. As soon as you leave your house, it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter your job. This has nothing to do about being a CEO or anything. Whether you're a student making minimum wage flipping burgers somewhere or a CEO, you have the same impact. Whoever you cross that day, I look at people in the eyes and I say hello. Total strangers. When I'm driving, I try to be as patient as possible, let people in traffic. When I worked in buildings, I would say hello when people would come and, let's say, come get my trash bin. I would say hi and say thank you. I worked in a place where there was production, so we were front of house where I was in sales. And then there was a production part. I treated them just like I would anybody, like I would treat the manager, the people actually working on the products. And I would know them by name and go talk to them and had a great relationship with them. It's how you treat people. And I even had comments when I left that job. Somebody came up to me and said, "Oh, we're really going to miss you. You have such a great energy about you." So what happens is your impact, whether you're crossing somebody on the street and you smile at them, you're leaving them with like a bit of energy, like with a spark that you just shot out. When I was at work, I also did it on purpose. They're like, you have a really good energy about you and it's contagious. It's like if you can think of your light and you're shining it on other people, or you're sending them sparks, okay? Or sparks of energy, or however you want to think about it. It's contagious that way. So you keep going in your day, and everything that you do in your day is really important, and it's sending energy. And all of a sudden in your city or your community, you're spreading it. And people that are seeing that, you made them feel good, and then they're going to be nice and kind to the other people. So think of that as just going to work, going to school. If you're taking the bus, let somebody else sit if the bus is getting busy. And it's these small things. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to, like, once a month go volunteer at a soup kitchen. Hey, if you're doing that, that's awesome. But I'm talking about like every day and acts of kindness. Acts of kindness can be super simple things in your day-to-day. Like I said, smiling, it's free. Opening the door to people, whether you're at your mall or at your place of business or wherever you are. When you're outside here or in Canada, it's seasonal, so I think of it all the time. If you're raking leaves, rake your neighbor's leaves without them even asking you. I lived in a neighborhood before where there were a lot of seniors. If I saw them raking and I was out, I would go help them bag their leaves. In winter, we get a lot of snow here. The snow gets really heavy. I would shovel my driveway and go help them shovel theirs. Or if a plow went by, I would go take that huge mound of snow at the end because I knew it was too heavy for them. You're always just looking just to see. It doesn't mean every day you have to go do these colossal acts of kindness, but it's just in your everyday. Also in social media, just be mindful of the energy that you're giving out there. How are you being online? So if you have an account, what are you putting out there? So right now I have a YouTube channel that you're on right now. I am very conscious of the fact that I want to put positivity, love, kindness, compassion out there. And I will never put anything negative out because I know my energy matters. You're watching me and I'm affecting you. But you can also do the opposite, right? And you can also, while I'm on this video, you can feel that I am authentic, that I am wanting to send good vibrations, positivity out in the world. And you can sense when somebody is trying to do something different. Also, how you comment on posts. Think of the energy that you're putting out there. Again, don't go complaining that something's happening in your country that you don't like and judgmental. And look, they're blowing each other up over there. When you're going crazy, insulting people and tearing them down online, okay? It's still your energy. Does it the same as killing somebody? No, that's not what I'm saying. But all of the energy accumulates with all of us, right? So if you're igniting your light, you're doing kind things along your day, you're spreading that light to another person where you did these little acts that cheered them up, and they're like, oh, wow, that's so awesome. It's been proven that when somebody looks at another act of kindness, it'll produce 5 other acts of kindness. So if you just think of that for a moment, all of our lights, we're doing little things to help each other out, which is inspiring other people to do acts of kindness. And then it doesn't take that long to change the world. Actually, we could change the world like that overnight. Because if we went to sleep tonight and then our mission for tomorrow morning, the only mission that you had on top of your work and school, on top of that, is just to be kind to the people that you meet, just the ones that you meet or come across. Okay, so if you're like, well, I only come across 5 people or 2 people, I'm like, I don't have like a huge life. Like, okay, but all of us, 8 point something billion people, if we all did that, this is where we're changing the world. This is where you're making a difference. It can't be other people that do it. It needs me. I have to do it. And you listening to this, there is no exception. The world needs you because it can't just be a pocket of people. And let me say this, I think you've already noticed yourself, the government's not coming to save us. The UN is not coming to save us. There's nothing that an organization can do to get us to change what we're doing and changing our ways. We need 8 point whatever billion people, billion lights individually lit up, sparking other lights, and then making like a global light network. It's gonna come from the people. Just look around and see what the UN and stuff's doing since its existence. There's war right now. And if you're like, well, come on, how's this going to help the war over there? Well, if you start changing yourself, your community, your children, and then that's in your community and it's global, 8 point something billion people, that's going to have a ripple effect. And the next generation, I'm 50, so maybe not my generation, but I believe the next generation after me is not going to end a war, but they're going to end the concept of war if this takes off and everybody understands their power. We've been taught victimhood. We've been taught that all our power, all our money, everything is going to come from the outside. And right now, this is September 2025. We need to change, and we need to change now. We're still relying on our organizations and things outside of us. We have the power to change this around. You have the power to change this around. And this is not just woo-woo spirituality. This is real. And to further prove that, I just want to show you a graphic here of the heart. This is from the Heart Math. And this is just to show you the power of the heart and the energy that comes from the heart. This is not just words I'm speaking. There is so much power that comes from the heart. It goes outside of the heart, and it can be measured several feet around a person. And when you intersect with another person like you're seeing here, the fields sort of blend. We all affect our fields. So if you could just imagine here in this field here where you're seeing 2 people, if they have their lights ignited and if they are full of kindness and compassion and love, how they're interacting and interchanging energy and then going on and affecting other people. It is a very powerful force, and you can feel it. I know you can, because if you're still thinking this is woo-woo, when somebody walks in the room, you can feel something. You can feel if they're really negative or hateful, or they're judging you, or there's something up with them. They got bad vibes. When I walk in a room, I always have really good feedback. People's eyes light up, like they can feel the energy off of me, okay? And can you just imagine billions of us doing this? It's going to shift the world, and we can shift it today. Basically, from the time we were little, we were taught, especially in my generation, basically look after yourself. Me, myself, and I. Go to school, make money, make your career, buy your house, raise your family, have your car. Not only have your house, have it fenced in, you take care of yourself, you're not looking out for other people, and everybody did the same thing separately in their house. We got so stressed, looking for success, money. You're not paying attention to anybody else. We lost community, and it was fend for yourself, me, myself, and I. And that's what we're all doing separately, just trying to make it. And I understand life is certainly challenging, and I understand why it's like that. But we have lost our true essence there, where me, myself, and I, we are now coming to a time where we have to ask ourselves, how am I affecting others? How am I showing up in the world for others? How am I taking care of not just myself, but my community? What energy am I sending out? Am I contributing to the world getting better, kinder, and more compassion? Or am I contributing to the just get it myself, make my money, put it all away, and who cares about anybody else? It's just me, myself, and my family, right? We are getting to the time where it's also cooperation, helping other people prosper at the same time that you're getting yourself to prosper, and moving away from competition. So we were also in our way of life taught about competition and be the best, and on your way to success, if you're stepping on people, it doesn't really matter. Just the thing that really matters is your goal and that position that you have. And if you make investments and you're the top whatever percent, 10%, but 90% are broke because of some investments in what companies made, or they didn't care about the planet and some species have gone extinct, and we're cutting down the forest, but you're making your money, so who cares? You're going to see in this time that we're going to be shifting to where that's an old paradigm, where a success like that, stepping on other people, not caring about other people, and taking the planet down with you, is not sustainable. We're going to go into more cooperation, where there's ways where we're all going to help each other, look out for each other, not leave people starving while you're doing okay, not taking away resources from the planet. So that's a future goal. But for right now, when we talked about, well, what can I do today? Those are the things we talked about earlier. Or in every day, just think of what you're putting out, and you can affect the world around you in your very little actions that you're doing, in your small gestures. Start to change the world. A funny analogy that my brain comes up with these funny things to sometimes try and break down these concepts that are a little bit harder to explain. I came up with this, I don't know why, but maybe it helps explain what I'm talking about. So let's say you had a sailboat race, okay? And it was in high school, you go for a sailboat race, and you put all the people, nobody was taught any classes, okay? So you have the rich kid that's been taking sailing lessons at a private club. You've got people that have been on regular boats, and you've got people that don't even know how to swim. They were brought up in apartments. They don't have much money. They've never even been on the water. They've never worn a life jacket. Okay, so this is sort of goes to explain different types of people that we have in our society, where you're just born into it. Okay, so you have this sailing lesson, and they're like, whoever gets to that buoy 2 kilometers down is the winner. They win everything, whatever the prize is. They win everything, go. You're going to get the trophy. You're going to be the best person ever, whatever the prize is. And they're like, go. So we've been taught as a society that it doesn't matter. You just have to go get that prize. So the people that know how to sail and know everything, they're just going to go and win the race, and they're going to get there super fast, okay? So, of course, the 2 people in the sailboat, or the 1 person that has taken lessons and knows what they're doing, they get there no problem. They get the trophy. They're like partying. They're doing awesome, and they're not even looking back. And then you got the people that have maybe been on the water before. They're trailing in. But what I'm talking about is you're soon going to realize that celebration is not going to feel so good when you're on that dock, because now's the time where instead of just celebrating and saying how awesome you are and you're number one, you're going to look back. And when you look back, you're going to notice, and it's going to bug you. You're not going to be able to leave it anymore. There's people back there in their sailboats that have tipped over. Some people are going the wrong way and they're going in the open ocean. Some people didn't know how to put their life jackets on and they're drowning back there. There's all these levels. And when the heart is ignited, okay, so yeah, you had your victory there. That's a concept of, if you come in number one, you're the best. Are you really the best if when you look around, there's people dying and there's people going to go out in the open ocean that there's no turning back? You're going to not be able to do that. You're not going to be able to let that happen. Instead, what the future is coming, and you can see, but it's going to take all of us igniting our lights in smaller ways now, is before you take off, all of the people that have experience are going to get together and we're going to all talk and see how are we all going to get to that finish line together. You're going to assess the people. You don't know how to swim. Okay, you're going to be paired with this guy. You're going to be paired with this girl. And some of these boats are going to be tied together. And it's going to take all of this teamwork, and you're going to get to the buoy together. And they're going to say, well, that's lame. Does that mean that nobody's ever going to like celebrate and be the winner? No, I think what's going to come is the fulfillment and all of the teamwork. And yeah, there were some leaders in there that took like, okay, what are we going to do? This is what we're going to do. Use everybody's strength, analyze, and that you all get there and you're all going to cheer and you're all going to be like a group together. That's just like, oh my gosh, we did it. This was so awesome. I'd never even been on a boat before. I never swam. But because you guys were around me, I felt that I could do it. That's where we're going. Now, how long will it take to get there? I'm not sure. But we can't get there unless we all ignite our lights. Do you see what I'm saying? That doesn't come overnight. We have to ignite our lights so that we have to start noticing around us, oh, wait, that's not fair that they're like that. Oh, maybe I can help over here. Maybe I can help over there, okay? So maybe that was a silly analogy, but it just gives you a visual of like, well, that's ridiculous to let somebody drown and they're dying back there. It's just a way of putting in imagery what we're doing basically today. So that was cooperation versus the old model of competition. And here's a quote that I love, or it's actually a part of the book, The Little Prince. I'm going to put it here. It summarizes a lot of what I'm talking about today. And now, here is my secret, a very simple secret. It is only with the heart that one can see rightly. What is essential is invisible to the eye. So this is what we're talking about. What is essential is invisible to the eye. That force, that power that comes from love, cooperation, oneness is a force that is so powerful, so much more powerful than negativity. It's what you can't see with the eye. It's what you're feeling, what you're putting out there, and caring and compassion for other people. Here's the bit of the woo stuff we're going to get into. I've explained this for law of attraction, but we're going to get into it again here when we're talking about just the energetic power of what I'm talking about love and compassion, kindness. It's a force. You have to remember that we're energetic beings, or even a spiritual being, but let's just keep it to energetic beings in flesh suits, okay? What you see is your tissue and organs is made out of cells. Cells are made of molecules. Molecules are made of atoms. And when you go into the subatomic particles, where you have the nucleus and the electron going around the nucleus, when you break that down, you notice that The atom is like 99.9% energy and very little matter. We're made of that. So we're energetic beings, but we look like we're real. Basically, we have like a flesh suit zipped up. I'm in a flesh suit, but really I'm energy. And the things between us are energy, and your energy, and the planet's energy, the trees are energy. Every single thing that you can see with your eyes is energy, and the stuff between us is energy, and we're living in a basic energy soup, okay? And the reason I bring this up is because we're in an energy soup, and the energy from the heart is one of the most powerful energies on earth, in the universe, really. When you send that out, when you do something kind, when you're compassionate, this is a force that goes out in front of you, in the people, in the soup, and has ripples effect. It affects all of us. So when you're doing that, it's going in the cosmic soup. And when somebody else is doing that, it's also going in the cosmic soup. And if you want to think of, instead of a soup, a light grid on the planet, it's very much lighting up the grid. And all of us are needed to light that grid and change the energy on the planet. If enough of us do it, it changes consciousness. It changes the planet. So indeed, you are changing the world by simply being kind and loving and looking out for your brothers and sisters. And I'm going to leave you with one more visual here. This is our planet. I know you've seen our planet before, but here it is in space. And what I want you to focus on is to look very closely to see if you see any country lines, if you see any dots that are cities, if you can see any separation where on the globe it's separating where different religions and cultures might be. All the things that I just stated are man-made when you look at maps. So when you're looking at Earth, the planet, it's literally a rock in space, part of the solar system, the Milky Way, which is one galaxy as part of billions of galaxies. I'm not talking about billions of stars or billions of planets. There are billions of galaxies. And we're this like salt grain in our own galaxy amidst many other galaxies in the universe, okay? And here we are on this rock, a grain of sand on a beach, again in all of these galaxies, fighting amongst ourselves over our differences. When you give it perspective like that, it's pretty insane. We are essentially Earthlings from the same planet. We were taught over time that we're from countries, cities, and like I said, we learned our religions, and then thoughts and beliefs came into play, various ones that we were taught, and we were taught to separate and us versus them. And it's actually the furthest thing from the truth. We're all one. We're all Earthlings here living on the same planet. And if we could treat each other like we're all Earthlings and just have a change of perspective, learn how to at least get along, and you would play a huge role in that. So just like I opened with, we can't do this just a group of us, you know, meditating or being kind to one another. It will require everybody. Everybody means me, but everybody also means you. So I hope this was helpful. The whole point of it is for you to understand just how powerful you are, just how much of a difference that you can make. You yourself, don't look over your shoulder. You can help make the world a better place, and you can help make the world a better place today. We all can. So if you can keep that in mind, and we all are the lights in our little corners of the world, those lights will connect and we will be able to change the world. I'm an optimist. I know that we can do this. I believe in me. I believe in you. I believe in all of us. I believe we will get back to our true nature. I believe we will take care of each other, show love and compassion, and that we will get through this, and we will get through this together. You are extremely powerful, and use that power and your light for good. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. My name is Jose Lindsay. Much love.